On a warm afternoon in the Tar Heel state of North Carolina, EA Sports brings you to Bank of America Stadium in Uptown Charlotte. Today we've got an NFC matchup on tap, as it'll be the Dallas Cowboys taking on the Carolina Panthers. And he'll be tackled just shy of the 25. Dallas offense set for this next drive. Dak going to start out going to the air. And his first pass is incomplete. Well, that's not the way you want to start. A first pass attempt and a first drop all in one.
Well, you've got plenty of time to make up for it, but obviously not the way you want to get things started. Got to shake that off and get going.
From the 24, they'll go again on 2nd and 10. Here's Prescott. It's hauled in by Brandon Cooks. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. Give him 18 on that one, and it's a Dallas first down. To throw is Prescott. And this one quickly to Lamb. They'll wind up getting 7 on the play, and it's 2nd down. I think defensively you're okay with that. Here in the first quarter, he's going to get some catches, but they rallied to him quickly.
And that's what you count on, and I like what you just said. First quarter, can you do it all game long? They catch it, you tackle them, they go down on the spot. Because when you're able to do that and you don't give up big chunks of yardage after the catch, now you put the offense in a position where every series they have to work hard to pick up first downs, and you tend to stall them out when you do that.
It shows you right there, he can do more than just cover in the secondary from that free safety position.
Yeah, the evolution of the position has really been significant, hasn't it? Because a lot of teams no longer have a free safety, strong safety designation. They just have safeties. So wherever the ball is, one can be close to the line of scrimmage, one can be deep, and vice versa. On that play, how about that tackle we just saw? Pretty nice.
That was their first third down try of the game, and clearly something was off in the execution of that play. Good news, they've got a whole game left to clean that up and start clicking on those key third down throws.
And the Cowboys going to bring on Brian Anger to punt on 4th down. Shi Smith deep for Carolina. And they'll get off a fairly short kick here as this is toward the sideline. And this will depend on the spot as it sails out of bounds. And they'll say it sailed out at the 10-yard line. So well done there. And these punters, they get more specialized and better each and every year, don't they?
They sure do. And now it's really not the American punters. It's the Australian punters with their kicking academies and that flat drop and just kind of kicking the nose of the football. They're able to almost stop it where they want to, like a good golfer can check one up.
Oh, he's going to take a shot right away. And that is incomplete. Took a shot there on 1st down, but he couldn't reel it in.
Zone coverage there, and they were playing deep. That makes it obviously a little bit harder to run by guys. And that time, there was not much of a window to get the ball in there, and it winds up incomplete.
Young's incompletion on 1st down leads to a 2nd and 10. They'll set up a throw. And connecting here with DJ Shark. And brought down, but not before reaching the 25. Give him 15 there, and the Panthers have a 1st down.
And they were backed up to start the drive, but not anymore. Now, that's the play call that the offensive coordinator had in his head. You saw the end result. He wanted to go ahead and push the ball downfield, and that's what they did. And they wound up with good yardage there to get things rolling.
And Young's throw there incomplete.
It looked like they had something there, but I think that he was thinking about running with the football before he actually hauled it in, and that led to a big drop.
Following the incomplete pass, here they go again. 2nd and 10 from the 25. In motion left, that's Thielen. Here's a fake on the jet sweep, and instead a give up the middle. And he powers his way up past the 30. 5 yards, now it's 3rd and 5.
I really like the vision he displayed on that play because he saw there wasn't a lane to completely break off a huge gain. So he found where there was the most space and got what he could. A nice dirty run that's a positive play for the offense.
They go play action. Young. And he will not be able to hang on through the contact. It's incomplete. The coverage strong, and now it's 4th down.
Well, anytime he reads man coverage, I don't think it's going to be the only time he'll try and hit that route to the outside in this game. He'll test the perimeter, but that time, they were up to the challenge.
So on 4th down, here's Johnny Hecker to punt it away. Kevontae Turpin deep for the Cowboys. Fielded at the 20. It'll be a 10-yard return following a punt of 45. And the Cowboys will take over the football with a 1st and 10. Second drive forthcoming here for the Dallas Cowboys. Over on the sideline, hoping to hit that reset button between possessions. Last time out, they had to punt it away. This time hoping to finish this thing off in the end zone. So the drive's going to start with Pollard. Oh, a heck of a move.
Man.
And he's going to get this all the way down inside the 35. That one's good for 35 yards on the ground and a 1st down. Thought they were going to have him down a lot earlier, but he was able to shed that tackle.
Shows the value of the weight room, doesn't it? Shows the value of the attitude when you run the football. Don't go down easily. Break a few tackles. Gain some additional yardage.
A 1st down throw for Prescott. Swinging this out for Pollard. And brought down, but not before they're inside the 25. 11 yards and a Cowboy 1st down.
Nice little nifty play for him there. Yeah, that's the ability to read a defense and utilize players that don't often get picked up in coverage easily. And I'm talking about being able to use the backs out of the backfield. Because I know that when I used to cover, hey, we got everybody oh, he just snuck out there, and they just got a nice 1st down there.
What do we love to say? Get those backs into space, right? And they were able to do that there. Nice pickup on 1st down. The result, only 4 yards there on the play. And it's 2nd down. Prescott from the gun. And this ball is caught by Lamb. Touchdown, Dallas. From 19 yards away. And the Cowboys get the upper hand as they're on the board first here this afternoon. They went empty backfield, all their weapons out wide, so there really was no secret here to what they were going to do.
No secret, but they still had to execute it, and they still had to protect the guy throwing the ball, because oftentimes when you empty the backfield, people bring pressure at you. They managed to hold in there and successfully complete the touchdown pass.
The kick team out there for the Cowboys as they run up to send this one away. And good coverage there on special teams as they'll get him down shy of the 20. The Panthers coming back out onto the field for their 2nd drive. Now a 1st down throw for Young. And this one into the hands of DJ Shark. That'll go for a gain of 7. And that's going to bring up 2nd down.
And I think this is a route we'll see more of as this game goes on, because with his speed, they want to get him the ball in space on drag routes just like this. They want him to get the ball and run after the catch. Good job there, though, holding him for a short gain.
It's a 2nd down run with Sanders. And down he goes, but he takes it up to the 40. 14 yards, good for a Panther 1st down.
Nice run from Sanders to accomplish a couple of long-awaited firsts last season in Philadelphia. finally broke 1,000 yards and had 11 touchdowns to help reach his first Pro Bowl.
Right back to Sanders on first down. And he'll get what he can up the middle, 3 yards. That'll bring up second down.
Not a huge carry there on first down, but not all of them will be. But still, all in all, a positive play for the offense. It's all about picking up at least a few to set up what you're going to do here on second down.
From the 43, here's a 2nd and 7. Young to throw it. He'll find his man, Laviska Shenault. And he's going to have another first down here as the tackle's made at the Cowboys' 38-yard line. 19 yards to pick up there. Move the chains. So from Cowboy territory now, here's 1st and 10 at the 38. Throwing, Young. Short throw underneath to Hurst. So just 3 yards on the completion there. And it'll be second down. We've seen quite a bit of the short passing game here early on first quarter, haven't we?
We have, and I think it works a couple of ways for this team because, number one, you throw the short game until they stop it. And if they're not going to stop it, you keep throwing it, and occasionally you'll break a tackle and turn into a bigger gain. Also, if they start to creep up, start to pressure receivers, now you go over the top, take it deep, and now you get some of those big shots downfield.
His first catch, good for 8 and a first down.
I got a kick out of that one, partner. You and I talk often about trying to hide receivers in certain situations, but a guy of his size, can't really hide him. But the tight end drag route, definitely an effective way to sneak him across the formation for an easy completion and a first down.
Off the play fake, Young. Short throw underneath to Hurst. The completion, but they go in the wrong direction. A loss of yards, and now they're dealing with a 2nd and long.
In today's NFL, we're accustomed to the tight end getting downfield and creating plays and wreaking a little havoc in the secondary. Not on this one, though. They diagnosed that one really well.
Tried the dump off, lost yardage. After one, 7-0 on EA Sports. Second quarter now from Charlotte, and it's the Panthers with the football as they've got it 2nd down and 12. A give running left. It's Sanders, and he will lose yardage here to the 31-yard line. The tally there, -2 yards, brings up 3rd down.
I like the strategy. Extra tight ends, extra beef. They want to run the football, but that means they probably want to run it inside. If you get strung out on the perimeter, you're in peril.
Yeah, we saw the result, negative yardage. Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw. Oh, it's intercepted. A drive killer there. Picked off by Stephon Gilmore. And they will finally get him, but not until he's all the way down inside the 15-yard line. Following the interception, here's Prescott. And that is caught. Touchdown, Cowboys. 2 first-half touchdown passes now for Dak Prescott. And the Cowboys are able to strike quickly to add on to their lead.
Boy, that route is really tough to cover because if they're running it correctly, you think it's really going to be a slant.
Yeah, well, we talk all the time about how it's tough to execute offensively, but you're saying, don't forget, it's tough to cover for the defense, too.
Yeah, the number one thing that you're taught is to not get caught inside or get beat inside. So you guard that a little bit more. So that gives you a little bit more space to operate outside if you start your move initially inside if you're a receiver.
The kick team out there for the Cowboys as they run up to send this one away. Now Raheem Blackshear going to take this one out. And he returns this to the 22. Here are the Panthers now as their offense comes back out onto the field. And they're in a bind early here, down 14-0. Are you worried at this stage or still too early?
You're worried. You're just trying not to transmit it to the rest of your team. You want to make sure that they stay positive. But at the same time, you're wondering, how are we going to move the football? What do we have on this play sheet that can work? Get back to basics is usually your answer. And make sure you find the guy who can move the ball fastest for you if you just get it in his hands.
Yeah, still second quarter. You get points on the board here. I think you're feeling okay. Well, when you're down a couple of scores like this, CD, you can't afford too many plays that go in the wrong direction like that one.
Yeah, when you take a good look at it broadly, sacks are better than giving up an interception. But where they are on the scoreboard, they've got to get rid of all of that and just create positive plays for themselves in order to have a chance.
And able to get this across the 20 before going out of bounds.
Let's not quibble about the gain there on second down. That was a positive play because that was a take-what-you-can-get situation. Got out to the tight end. Now it gives them a much better opportunity to convert on third down.
Yeah, the Cowboys here on third down bringing in an extra defensive back. To throw, Young. That is caught. And he is going to have a Panthers first down as they're able to get the third down conversion.
When you're struggling on offense, you're looking for anything possible to get you going. Sometimes you do it like basketball teams that don't normally press. You put a press on, bring people to life, make them move a little bit quicker. Maybe that'll help them as they head towards the half.
On 1st and 10, it's Sanders. And they're going to have this across midfield and inside the 45. 43 yards rushing for him now, and he's carried the ball just 5 times. There was a great article in the paper yesterday about how he likes to run angry. Plays like that, you can feel it, can't you?
As long as he doesn't drive angry, we're okay. Because when he's on the field, that anger works for him. It fuels him, it powers him, and the end result runs like that.
And a good job of finding the open space to run as he's down close to the 30 here. Another good gain. That's now 35 yards combined on those last 2 plays.
I'm okay with the call there. In fact, I actually like it. I know they're down a couple of scores, but the running game worked in that situation. I would continue to go in that direction.
Another run with Sanders. Powering forward, and he will reach the 8-yard line before going out. Good yardage as he rumbles for 24 and a first. They had a chance to limit his yardage, but he was able to fight off that tackle.
So it's not just the responsibility of the guys who missed the tackles along the way. It's all 11 on defense, able to stop this guy, unable to do it on that play. They've got to find a way. How about his ability to break through and gain that yardage?
Out to his left. And he'll take this into the end zone. Touchdown, Carolina. Bryce Young, an 8-yard touchdown run. And the Panthers have cut it back within a score.
Hey, you're down on the scoreboard, but now your offense is in close, and this is where, as a quarterback, you say, I've got to make a play here. Doesn't matter whether it's a pinpoint throw or a scramble like this one. He takes matters into his own hands and delivers a touchdown run.
Now after the touchdown, here's Pinheiro to kick it off. And he's up past the 20 to the 22-yard line. We'll get a pause here. There appears to be a Panther who is shaken up on that last play. While they come out and take a look at him, we will step aside for just a moment. The Cowboys offense heading back out and ready to go again. So Prescott of the Cowboys now with a 1st and 10 at their own 22. They'll run with Pollard to begin the drive. And they nearly get this all the way to midfield. Mark him down at the 49. A big hitter there. A 1st down gain of 26 yards. Well, he's broken off some big-time runs here in this first half.
Yeah, and let's just face it. When you go into a game, you think you've got the plays that are going to work, but when you actually get out there and they're starting to happen, your confidence rises, and he's running with terrific ability right now.
Now a toss left side into the hands of his tight end. He's got this to the 30 before being taken down. And 22 more yards there and another 1st down.
So many times in my career I've heard coaches talk about completions are one thing, but as long as we're there at the catch and we get guys on the ground, we can live with that. But if you're going to give up 10, 12, 15 yards after the catch, then your defense is going to be in a lot of trouble.
Prescott looks to throw on 1st. That's dumped off to Pollard. And they'll have it in the red zone before he crosses over out of bounds. 12 more yards there and another 1st down.
Well, it certainly doesn't matter if it's been through the air like on this play or on the ground. I don't know what's going on with this defense. In a sense, they've been AWOL on this drive so far. 3 plays, 3 1st downs given up. They've got to find answers, and they've got to find them quick.
Now a throw to the end zone on 1st down, but it winds up incomplete.
On that snap, he's the hero of his defense after the play he just made. A 1-possession game, and his hit kept it exactly that.
An incomplete pass on 1st down. That leads to a 2nd and 10. Looking to throw. Prescott. Over the middle, hauled in by Lamb. And able to break one tackle, but then quickly brought down. But a nice little gain. 9 yards, and that leaves him just short, so it'll be 3rd and less than a yard.
Even against double coverage, he found enough of an opening for a noticeable gain. 2 guys on him, yet he finds a way to uncover downfield for the completion.
Trying to run for it with Pollard. Well, they hit him in the backfield, and he will not escape. And that is not going to get it done. A 3-yard loss. 4th down now.
And that's exactly what offenses try to avoid by using motion and throwing different formations up. They hate when he can draw a bead on the play, get a running start, and make a big play behind the line of scrimmage as he did just there.
Now Prescott on 4th down. Work in the middle of the field, and he's got a man complete. And the Cowboys are going to have 1st and goal as they try to finish off this drive with 6 points. And that's what you've got your tough little slot receiver for, isn't it? Right there, those 4th down conversions in the middle of the field.
He knows that's where he has to make his living, and that's where he has to make plays to help his team. And no one is asking him to do anything more or less than do exactly what we saw there.
Prescott to throw it. Toward the end zone, but that's going to wind up incomplete.
I see the surprise in your face there, partner. That is a rare incompletion from him. He's been on point this entire game.
He has percentage completion-wise way up. Not that time. A line of scrimmage, once again the 5 as they get ready for 2nd and goal. Now Prescott. Touchdown, Cowboys! 3 touchdown passes now for Dak Prescott. And the Cowboys have taken a 2-touchdown lead now. There was no going through the progressions on that touchdown pass.
Yeah, nor was it necessary. His receiver won that route early, presented himself, no reason to wait. Go ahead and put it on him and score a touchdown.
Extra point splits the uprights, and it's now 21-7. The kick team out there for the Cowboys as they run up to send this one away. No run back here, down to a knee, and this drive will start at the 25. Here's the Carolina offense as they get ready to take over here. Right now, Charles, it just feels like they're trying to keep pace. They did score the touchdown last time out, but they still trail by double digits here. We'll see if this offense is once again up to the task.
Yeah, and I think that after the last drive, they've got to be pretty revved up, don't you think? Everything they were doing was working pretty well. They go back out there with the same mindset, play at the same tempo and the same pace. Still a lot of time left to make something happen in this one. Nothing fancy on first down, but a very consistent type of a play. Hit that slant. A lot of people call it an extension of the running game, and it can be if that pass is completed, because you hit a guy on the run like that, he often can go for big yardage.
Sets him up nicely for second down, staying ahead of schedule. That throw by Young incomplete.
With a rookie quarterback out there, you're definitely going to find out how he handles adversity, because this one so far hasn't gone according to plan. He's got to fight through it and show him what he's made of.
After the incompletion, here now, 3rd and 2. They'll try and run for it with Sanders. And he will have a first down as they get him to the ground at the 37. It's a gain of 4 there, and it gives him a new set of downs.
Well, someone's been having a good game so far, and you know something? A lot of it's been power running. They decided to turn him loose again on 3rd down, didn't they?
They did indeed. He delivered the tough yards. First down now, but that clock rolling. Looking to throw, Young. And that is taken in by Hurst. And he'll take this to the other side of midfield before going out of bounds. It's a Panthers first down, 17 yards on the play.
Well, these guys have definitely been outplayed in the first half. I like their countenance. I like the way that they're having panicked out there, the way they're carrying themselves. They're starting to move the ball, and what you have to do, maintain your poise and start to put together some drives.
Young on first down. Lets it fly for Thielen. It's incomplete. Took a shot, couldn't connect.
They decided the opportunity was there and launched a deep ball, but he was unable to get away from the defender. Couldn't create space, couldn't uncover at the end of the route, and that one winds up incomplete.
Young's incompletion on first down leads to a 2nd and 10. Now a shotgun snap as they'll look to throw. And his throw's going to be incomplete.
Well, this is a half where not just the coverage, but the entire defense is setting the tone in this game.
Here comes the 7th play now of this drive as this is 3rd and 10. Young working out of the gun. That one into the hands of Thielen, complete. And boy, he is very close to a first down, but from where they're spotting that football, he's going to be a foot or so short.
And I believe that that gain on 3rd and long changes things quite a bit, because this would be a very long field goal. I wouldn't be surprised to see him go for it here.
The kick by Pinheiro is good, and that will get the disadvantage now back down to 11. So they're content to take the 3. Somewhat of a conservative call there, opting not to go for it on 4th and inches.
And that's from a team that you and I know is not usually playing it close to the vest. It's a little bit of a surprise that they opted for the 3 instead of going for it.
So with 3 seconds remaining in the half, they will line up to kick this one away. So we have reached halftime here in an 11-point contest. As we'll send you down the coast now to Orlando, that's where we find Jonathan Coachman, ready with our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach. And not much happening on the return as he'll get this to about the 23. Out come the Panthers. They'll have it first on offense in the third quarter. And Charles, some things to like about that first half. Ultimately trailing here, but certainly this deficit is manageable. So curious to see what adjustments they may have made at intermission.
As am I, because I think things bode well for a possible comeback, because I thought a lot of their best reps in the first half came through the passing game. They were hitting the open receivers, taking whatever the coverage gave them and making it work well for themselves. Now, they just want to pick up the pace of scoring a little bit. So I expect them to come out and continue to throw the ball effectively.
They'd love to just strike back with a touchdown right here, and if it's a long play, so be it. But the main goal, get a couple of first downs, run some plays, run some clock, allow their defense to get a chance to catch their breath, settle down, and relax a little bit after they just gave up a score.
Now a fake on the jet sweep, and they'll instead run up the middle. And he'll get a couple up to the 29.
That play reminded me a lot of a former teammate of mine. We used to call him the trash man. His ability to sift through traffic and make plays was uncanny.
And that's exactly what you want from your Mike linebacker. This offense in desperate need of a conversion as they come up on third down. From the shotgun, it's Young. Sanders has it over the middle. And he is going to have a Panthers first down by about a yard. It's a gain of 5 on 3rd and 4.
Caught that look from you there, partner. I think we're on the same page on that one. Just his first catch, I think we both thought he'd be a little more active in the passing game. Let's see if that's the start of them trying to get the ball to him a little bit more here in the second half.
Meanwhile, Young's throw taken in by Chark. And able to get this one across the 45 before he's brought down. 2 catches in the first half. Now he's got a third here, and it's good for a first.
Couple of first downs right in succession, and this is an offense that could really use a good drive, and they're off to a fast start here.
On 1st and 10, Young. That's complete to the receiver, Thielen. And they'll work this down to the 40-yard line, tackled there. It's a first down, his 4th catch of the game after having 3 in the first half.
And that's one of the better plays we've seen this offense put together so far. They haven't been able to get on track much at all. But listen, they're only down a couple of scores with the rest of this quarter and the entire 4th remaining. So, stranger things have happened.
That's swung out wide to Sanders. And he'll get it down on the play to the 37.
All defenses worry that whenever anyone catches the ball and has a head of steam come out of the backfield, it could turn into a big play with missed tackles or he runs through people. But they were right there waiting, and they stopped him for a minimal gain.
Here's a 2nd down and 7 from the 37. They go play action. Young. Now a quick throw there, but it's going to be incomplete.
The coverage keyed in on him since that last completion his way. He earned a little more attention on that route, and that made it a lot tougher to get a clean throw his way.
This will be the 8th play of the drive. It's 3rd and 7. Again, it's Young. The throw here right sideline falls incomplete.
Not sure what happened there, but he just didn't get the right read on the coverage that time. Pass wasn't where it needed to be, and that'll send them back to the drawing board.
So now they're going to send out the field goal unit to, as they say, fire away from long distance. This from 54 yards away. This is up and good from Pinheiro. And that'll make this an 8-point game. So they were facing the deficit coming out of the locker room at intermission, and at least they're able to get the field goal to cut into that deficit.
Yeah, now your offense feels pretty good about itself, right? A little bit more up to speed coming out of the break. You turn to your defense now and say, hey, we got 3 there. We're chipping into the lead. Can you help us out? Hold them. Let's get the ball back for us.
After the field goal, on to kick it away is Pinheiro. And he brings us out past the 20 to the 24. The Cowboys offense now, they head out for their first possession of the second half. They're rocking and rolling, but the scoreboard doesn't show a big difference. You know, maybe it's one of those games where coaches say you can't miss your turn on offense.
I like the way you phrased it, especially with that. I love that rocking and rolling because the explosions on offense are happening. So that's going to get the crowd going. They're loving that. But defensively, they just can't get it together to get the stops they've needed in order to help increase their margin. They've got to find a way, but you're not counting on it. That's exactly what you said. Can't miss your turn, can't miss your opportunity.
Yeah, they're going for another opportunity now. And they'll come up 2nd and 7. Gonna run again here with Pollard. He'll get a yard, that's all, as they get him down at the 28.
This is what happens sometimes when you abandon the running game. It's hard to get back to it because once guys get out of that mentality of firing out and hitting people, hard to get them started again occasionally.
3rd down and 6. Prescott now. Able to find the open man. That's complete. And he will have a Cowboys first down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion.
I'll tell you what, a lot of those mid-range throws have been available because sometimes teams get too concerned about the deep ball and they leave too much space in front of them. And these guys have been taking advantage so far.
They'll go with Pollard here on 1st down. And a solid run here as he'll pick his way down to the 42-yard line. 78 yards for him on the ground now as he has been terrific here this afternoon.
Most of their damage has been done through the air. I mean, they've rung the bell 3 times with passing touchdowns, but guess what? Ground game has not been neglected. Nice little burst right there.
1st down, and it's Pollard again. And very little there. He might have gotten a yard. Yeah, I think he got a yard to the 41.
No doubt about it. A really nice job there by the defense, not allowing him to get to the perimeter. But that means your defensive ends, your outside linebackers, the guys that you pay big money to sack the quarterback, they also have to have interest in the running game as well. And they did a nice job there of holding the point of attack and not giving ground.
A 2nd down pass play there, but it's incomplete. Not his best throw there, but where we sit right now in the 3rd quarter, he's had a pretty good game throwing the football.
He certainly has, and it's not exactly at the point where we're doing 4-minute offense yet, but they've got to think about, I'm not going to say milking the clock, but understanding clock management here on out.
On 3rd down, it's Prescott. And that is incomplete.
They certainly thought he had an open look beyond the 1st down marker to his receiver, but they just couldn't connect, and that will send them back to the drawing board.
Here's Brian Anger now as he'll punt it away for the 2nd time. Yeah, he was looking for the checkup bounce, didn't get it. That scoots all the way into the end zone now for a touchback. Now the Panthers offense, they get set to come back onto the field. And after the field goal last time, we'll see what they can get here. And at least they got points out of the last drive, Charles.
I never met an offensive coach that didn't want to drive to end with a kick. Most of them wanted to end with a PAT, right? In this case, a field goal, they'll take it. Way better than the alternative, which is a punt.
Yeah, but you met fan bases that wanted that, that weren't happy with that field goal.
I haven't met a fan base yet that wants to drive to end with a kick, other than the extra point. That's it. Yeah, that one was covered pretty well because they were trying to leak the tight end out into the flat. I think they were hoping he could catch and turn upfield and pick up the 1st down.
From the 22, here's 2nd and 8. Young to throw it. This one into the hands of Thielen. He's to the 15. Touchdown, Carolina. Adam Thielen, 78 yards. And the Panthers are back within a couple of the lead. And they just ran the fly route there, didn't they?
You broke it down perfectly. He ends up catching that one and taking it all the way into the end zone.
Well, thanks. It was pretty simple to break down, though. I mean, that's just a guy going, running on the go route, making a play.
Speed,
Kills.
speed, speed. And what does it do?
It kills.
There you go. They made the decision to go for 2. They didn't get it. They remained down by 2 points. Should they have kicked it there?
Third quarter, I'm okay with it. Maybe first or second, you don't. I don't know. What do you think?
Yeah, again, I keep coming back to I don't like to chase a lot of points.
Yeah.
But I also don't know what kicking an extra point being down 1 does for me.
Now after the touchdown, here's Pinheiro to kick it off. And able to get this out to the 25. And now Dallas gets set to take the field. Certainly want to avoid what they had to do last possession, and that was punt the football, because this game's starting to tighten up.
In a basketball sense, you think about taking a little bit of the air out of the ball, right? Maybe milk some clock, limit the possessions. In this case, they might want to do the same thing, but control the game offensively. Put together some first downs, put together a drive, and keep it away from them.
Meanwhile, Dak's throw there caught by Gallup. Now this will leave him a yard short. Nice pickup of 9 yards on first down.
That was a nicely run slant route, and what the receiver's trying to do is make the defender think he's going upfield for a deeper route and then breaks it off, usually after about 3 to 4 steps, and cuts towards the middle of the field. And now what he's trying to do is use his body to keep the defender away from the football and give the quarterback a really nice target.
And he'll be taken down right around the 34 after a pickup of only a yard.
And this is why aggressive defensive coordinators love to blitz. It wreaks havoc because they end up taking their attention to the blitzers, freed up the D lineman to make the play.
The Panthers turn to their nickel set here as they get ready for third down. Pollard gets it off the option. And he's going to have the first down at about the 38. Just 4 yards on the pickup, but that's good enough to extend the drive.
Brandon, they're still in the lead, but momentum's certainly been going the opposite direction. So to me, that's a really important pickup there on third down.
Try and regain some confidence, and you're right. They need to stem the tide a little bit. That certainly helped. And as they come to the line, they will not be able to get off another play as time has run out on this third quarter. We'll return with more after this. This is the NFL, and it's on EA Sports. Option play, here's Pollard. And he'll be brought down just shy of the 45. Give him 5 on the carry there, and it'll be second down. I'm sure that's going to be the formula. Just keep the ball on the ground, keep that clock moving.
And when you have the lead this late in the game, above all, stay in bounds. Yes, take care of the football. Yes, gain yardage, but stay in bounds and let that clock tick.
On second down, it's Pollard. And this one not going anywhere. They get him at the 44 for a gain of just a yard.
That's it. That's what you want. Straight ahead positive gain. Just keep that clock ticking.
The Cowboys on third down. 2 for 5 to this point. This is 3rd and 4. Here's Prescott. Oh, he had him. He was open, but he couldn't get it to him. It's incomplete.
I think he's as fine with that incompletion as a quarterback can be, in all honesty. He avoided his first sack of the game, and he did have a chance of connecting for yardage, just unable to on that throw.
Here's Brian Anger now as he's on to punt for Dallas. And that hits at the 6 and carries into the end zone for a touchback. The Panthers offense here, they get ready to head back on the field. Their defense accomplished step one of the mission. They forced the punt. Now they'll look to erase that deficit and take a fourth quarter lead. They couldn't ask for much more to this point in the second half. A gorgeous day, one-score game. 1st and 10 here. Buying time to his left. Young into the slide, and he's got a first down. 23 yards on the tuck and run. Well, there you go. Save your best scramble of the day for a big-time situation in the fourth quarter, picking up the first.
You don't want to use it up early, right? You want to make sure you save it for that exact moment, that key time, and that's what he did, although you and I both know it wasn't planned that way. But what a nice job using his eyes, scanning the field, and realizing when it was time to exit the pocket and go.
And he's going to take this ahead for right around 3 yards, but no more than that. 2nd down.
Well, that's just a pile of bodies there, and that's when you kind of find out who's a tough guy, right? Who can stand up and make a play. It was only a 3-yard run, but for both sides, they had to walk away from that feeling like, okay, I can stand up when the going gets tough in here.
2nd down, back to Sanders. And he's going to be hemmed in and brought down right at the line of scrimmage. No gain on the play there, so they're left with a 3rd down and 6.
Brandon, one thing about blitzes, they really confuse offensive linemen at times, and what you have to do is lock in on the guy right in front of you. If you don't, you saw the end result. Defensive tackle ended up making the play.
Young on 3rd down. He's got his target. That's complete. And he's going to have another first down here as the tackle's made at the Cowboys 37. That one good for 16, and the drive will continue.
And here we are in the fourth quarter, partner, and we watch them drive for what would be a go-ahead touchdown. And you and I both know this is where you need a quarterback who can keep his cool back there, not just for himself, but to keep the rest of the team relaxed too.
And boy, showing how tough he can be to bring down, just fighting his way forward to pick up 7 yards.
So where'd all that running room that he had in the first half go? Because it looks like it's drying up a little bit here. Someone made some adjustments, it appears, at least on this drive.
Ball on the 30 now. Here's 2nd down and 3. Young to throw it. Toward the sideline, and look at that catch. Dragging the toes, and that's going to be a first down. Well done. 23 yards on the play. Tell you what, he's been able to put the ball in some tight spots all game long. That throw, no different.
Yeah, a lot of people would call it a gutsy type of a throw. I think he looks at it as, I can do it, so it's not that big of a deal to me, and I'm going to keep firing.
They'll run with Sanders. A solid move on the run, but ultimately stopped short of the goal line. Down at the 2. 5 yards, a good run there, and now 2nd and goal.
That's good hard running right there on 1st and goal. That gets them down to the 2 and puts a lot more pressure on that defense.
2 of their 3 red zone trips so far they've come up empty on. They'll look to reverse that trend on 2nd and goal. Sanders again. And he is in. Touchdown, Carolina. Miles Sanders taking it in from 2 yards out. And the Panthers have taken a fourth quarter lead.
And this is a time of game where offensive lines can really dictate a team's fortunes. It's been a tough battle. They've been out there for a long time. But this was a question of who can wear down who. And that's excellent work to put a long drive together and finish it with a touchdown run to take the lead.
Now after the touchdown, here's Pinheiro to kick it off. And he'll get it up past the 20 to about the 22. Dallas offense set for this next drive. The pressure is on now. They're being shut out here in the second half after a decent first half offensively. And they need their best drive of the game right here. So Prescott and the Cowboys now with a 1st and 10 at their own 22. On play action, they'll throw. This is caught. It's Cooks. And they'll get it all the way up about 5 yards shy of midfield. 23 yards, the final tally.
Well, this offense hasn't been at their best here. They've made some mistakes. They've been frustrated. They've been largely shut down. But then you look up and say, wait a second, this is a one-score game. So they're still very much in this, and they're on the move here with a 1st down.
They run straight ahead here with Pollard. And he'll get across midfield and into Carolina territory. 97 yards rushing for him now as he has been tremendous all day long.
Well, no matter how they phrase it, staying on schedule, staying ahead of the sticks, whatever you want to call it, 7 yards on 1st down, that fits the bill.
From just across the midfield stripe, here's 2nd and 3. Here's Pollard again. And he'll get it down here to the 43. 6 yards the pickup, and that's a 1st down.
Another carry for their leader, and a good one. It's crunch time. They'll need him to continue to be productive in both the run and passing game in order for them to try and snatch a victory.
All 3 timeouts plus the 2-minute warning. Here's 1st and 10. Prescott looks to throw on 1st. He'll find Lamb crossing the formation for the catch.
The goal for any offense versus his own defense, find the holes where guys are available and put the ball on the receiver before any defender can step up and fill it.
They did it well there. Perfectly executed crossing route. To throw is Prescott. A short one there taken in by Ferguson. Very sharp here to start this drive, 3 for 3.
Yeah, I like the way he's running this 2-minute drill. Very sharp, very precise in throwing the football.
This is 1st and 10. Now Dak. Looking for the out route here, and he's got Cooks. And they'll get this one to about the 20-yard line. He has been terrific today, hasn't he?
Yeah, absolutely. Running flawless 2-minute drill right here. This has been quarterbacking 101 with a flourish.
Plenty of time. All 3 timeouts still remain. Here's 1st and 10 now. Now a throw to the end zone on 1st down, but it winds up incomplete.
Whew, that's certainly not the worst thing. It stops the clock and lets your offense catch its breath and lets us exhale a little bit. Now I expect them to call a couple plays in the huddle, so they're ready if a tackle happens inbounds.
But just over a minute to go in the football game. 2nd and 10. Pollard will take it up the gut. They'll get to him just inside the 15-yard line. And even after that fancy footwork we saw, a good job defensively to recover. An incompletion, now a short pickup. That's not going to do it.
Yeah, you got to get to the line of scrimmage quickly, get set up, and aim downfield.
The noise is getting deafening. Here's 3rd down and 3. Here's Prescott. That is caught. And the Cowboys are going to have 1st and goal as they try to finish off this drive with 6 points. Now 1st and goal. Prescott. And this is caught. Touchdown. And they've taken the lead here in the final minute. What a game this has been, and what a drive that was, Charles, to take the lead here late in the 4th quarter.
And, partner, that's a job well done by everyone, from the players to the guys calling the plays. And if I may introduce just one downside to the mix, Might be a little bit too much time left. Enough on the clock for a final last-ditch effort to try and steal this win away.
And he'll get into the end zone. So now a field goal would only tie as they've upped their lead to 3. The kick team out there for the Cowboys as they run up to send this one away. And with time a factor here late, he'll just take a knee and they'll start things out at the 25. So now Young and the Panthers down by a field goal, 33 seconds to go. They need at minimum 3 points out of this as they come up 1st and 10. Young to throw. Into the hands of Sanders. And not a whole lot there. Maybe 3 yards on 1st down. And now it's the Panthers' turn. Trailing by 3 after the touchdown and 2-point conversion. A little under 30 seconds remaining. How will this thing pan out? We'll watch as they come up on 1st down. Here's a 2nd and 7. Here's Young. And once again, this is Sanders. The Panthers going to use the 2nd of their timeouts as they stop it with 22 ticks to go in the 4th. Well, this offense still has the 1 timeout here, remember. 1st and 10. Now Young. This is Chenault on the receiving end. Now the Panthers going to signal for their 3rd and final timeout. That'll be their 3rd and final stoppage here as we step aside. They'll come up 1st and 10 here. Young. And that'll be incomplete with 11 seconds remaining now. Couple extra defensive backs out there in the dime, and because of that, really not many places to throw the football, if any.
And typically, what would you want to do against that dime?
Run the football.
You want to run the ball, but you can't do it in this situation. Not nearly enough time on the clock. You having to really navigate against a tough defense presented against you.
Here's Young. And that is incomplete, stopping the clock with 5 seconds to go.
Now we're in the situation where the quarterback's got to take full charge of his huddle. Got to totally command it, make sure all eyes are on him. All focus is locked in. Going to call multiple plays and go over different situations and scenarios to make sure everyone is on the same page.
One last shot for Young. This for all the marbles. And this is incomplete, so no miracles here on the final play, and this ball game is over. What a game we were treated to in this one, and on that final play they had a chance. They had the ball just beyond midfield for one final shot but couldn't get it done, and they suffered the loss.
Yeah, and you mentioned how they had a chance on that final play, and getting it to midfield gave them that opportunity, hoping they could find their way to the end zone and make that miracle happen. A really good ending to an entertaining contest, though.
That'll do it for us. For Charles Davis and all our hardworking crew, I'm Brandon Gaudin. You've been watching the NFL on EA Sports. For more, find us on